In 2000, the skeletal remains of a 69-year-old man were discovered in his Tokyo apartment, 3 years after he had died. His rent and utilities were automatically withdrawn from his bank account until his savings were depleted. 3 years. No one noticed he was gone. Just this February, Gene Hackman and his wife were found dead in their Santa Fe home. The legendary actor had spent a week alone with her decomposing body due to his advanced Alzheimer's. 8 days passed before anyone discovered them. John Donne wrote, "No man is an island 4 centuries ago." But we're living like we've never heard those words. You're probably more isolated than you realize, and it's slowly destroying your mental health, your relationships, and your ability to feel genuinely happy. Today I'm going to show you why ignoring Donne's wisdom is literally killing us, and how understanding it could completely transform your life. Stick around until the end for the one specific thing you can start doing tomorrow that will make other people actually care about you again. Hit that like button and subscribe if this resonates. We're diving into uncomfortable truths most people won't face. Here's the question that'll haunt you. When was the last time someone would have noticed if you disappeared? You know what's fascinating? John Donne wrote "No man is an island" back in 1624, and here we are, 4 centuries later, living like we're stranded on our own piece of land. We've built invisible walls so high that we can't see our neighbors anymore. When's the last time you actually talked to the person next door? Not just a polite nod, but a real conversation where you learned about their life? The crazy thing is, we're more connected than ever before, yet lonelier than any generation in history. You've got hundreds of friends on social media, but can you name 5 people who'd help you move next weekend? Studies show loneliness has the same health impact as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That's your body literally breaking down because human connection is as essential as oxygen. We didn't wake up and decide to become islands. This isolation crept in slowly. Every time you ordered food through an app instead of going to the restaurant, sent a text instead of calling, put on headphones to avoid small talk, you laid another brick in that fortress wall. Technology isn't evil, but we've let convenience replace connection. The scariest part? We've convinced ourselves this is normal, maybe even better. I don't need people, you tell yourself. I'm independent. But your independence is an illusion. Every piece of food you eat, every road you drive exists because thousands work to make it possible. You're not an island. You're just pretending to be one. And that pretense is slowly killing what makes you human. But what happens when we stop feeling what others feel? Remember when you were a kid and you saw someone fall down on the playground? You felt something in your gut, maybe even winced like it happened to you. That's empathy in its purest form, and somewhere along the way to adulthood, most of us lost it. We've become experts at scrolling past suffering, clicking like on tragedy, and turning other people's pain into entertainment. Here's a perfect example that'll hit close to home. You're driving and see an accident on the other side. Your first instinct? Be honest, it's to slow down and look, right? Not from concern, but curiosity. You're consuming someone else's worst day like Netflix content, and you don't even realize you're doing it. This emotional numbness didn't happen overnight. We've been systematically trained to disconnect from others' experiences. Social media feeds us a constant stream of problems from around the world until we develop compassion fatigue. Your brain shuts down its empathy circuits to protect itself from overwhelm. But the side effect is you stop feeling anything for anyone. But here's how you can start rebuilding that empathy muscle. Next time you interact with service workers, really look at their face. Notice if they seem tired, stressed, or genuinely happy. When someone shares bad news, resist the urge to immediately offer solutions. Just say "that sounds really hard" and mean it. Practice feeling uncomfortable when others hurt instead of immediately distracting yourself. These small acts rewire your brain to care again. The question is, if you can't hear the bell tolling for others, how will you know when it's tolling for you? Let me ask you something that might sting. How many of your social media friends would you trust to water your plants? Not many, right? Yet we've convinced ourselves that 500 followers means we're well connected. It's like mistaking a photograph of food for an actual meal. Looks satisfying, but won't nourish you when you're starving. Think about your last meaningful conversation on social media. Someone posted about their promotion. You hit the heart button and typed "congrats." That took 3 seconds. Now compare that to sitting across from a friend, seeing their face light up, feeling their energy. That's the difference between digital acknowledgement and human connection. One feeds your soul, the other just fills time. Here's the brutal truth. Digital relationships are designed to be addictive, not meaningful. Every notification triggers dopamine like a slot machine. You're not building relationships, you're feeding an addiction that gives you less satisfaction each time. The algorithm doesn't care about your emotional well-being, you're just a data point to be optimized for profit. But here's what breaks my heart. You're missing the messy, beautiful reality of human connection because you've settled for the sanitized online version. Real relationships require vulnerability, patience, showing up when it's inconvenient. Digital connections let you avoid all that, but you also avoid the deep satisfaction of truly knowing and being known by another person. The price is higher than you think. You want to know what happens when society stops caring? Look around. Depression rates are skyrocketing, suicide is at an all-time high. Anxiety is so common we treat it like weather. These aren't isolated problems, they're symptoms of a collective disease. When you stop caring about others, the world stops caring about you. That's not karma, that's cause and effect. Here's something uncomfortable. Your indifference is contributing to someone's suffering right now. Maybe a coworker struggling with crisis, but you're too busy checking your phone. Maybe a neighbor dealing with depression, but you're too focused on your problems. Every time you choose to look away, you add another drop to an ocean of loneliness drowning people around you. Emotional indifference is progressive. It gets worse over time. What starts as I don't want drama becomes I don't care what happens to anyone. You become numb not just to strangers, but friends, family, yourself. You're not protecting yourself from pain. You're trading your capacity for all emotion for the illusion of safety. But here's what might surprise you. Caring about others isn't just good for them. It's essential for your mental health. Research shows people who help others live longer, report higher satisfaction, have better relationships. When you close your heart to others' struggles, you're literally shortening your own life. The bell that tolls for others isn't separate from yours. It's the same bell. Those walls don't have to be permanent. Enough doom and gloom. Let's talk about fixing this. Because human connection is like a muscle. Even if you haven't used it in years, you can strengthen it again. Just like getting back in shape after sitting on the couch. It'll be uncomfortable at first. Your empathy muscles are weak, and that's okay. Every expert was once a beginner. Start small, because going from hermit to social butterfly overnight is a recipe for failure. Tomorrow morning, make eye contact with your barista and ask how their day is going. Listen to their answer. Really listen. You'll be amazed how this simple shift changes both of you. They'll feel seen, and you'll remember what connection feels like. Here's something that sounds crazy but works. Start paying attention to people's micro-expressions and body language. Notice if their smile reaches their eyes. Watch for stress, excitement, sadness in their posture and tone. You're not becoming a mind reader. You're remembering that other people have inner lives as complex as yours. Most people are hungry for someone to really see them. The hardest part isn't learning new skills. It's overcoming your fear of vulnerability. You've been behind walls so long that letting someone see who you really are probably terrifies you. But vulnerability isn't weakness, it's courage. When you share something real, you give others permission to be real with you. That's how genuine relationships are born. And it's the antidote to the loneliness eating your soul. But personal connection is just the beginning. Here's what John Donne was really saying. Your individual well-being is inseparable from everyone around you. This isn't philosophy. It's practical reality. When your community thrives, you thrive. When neighbors struggle, you feel it whether you realize it or not. Crime, mental health issues, economic problems don't stay contained. They ripple out and touch your life. Think about the last time you felt truly proud to be part of something bigger. Maybe helping during disaster, volunteering for a cause, being there for a friend in crisis. Remember that feeling? That's what happens when you stop pretending you're an island. You don't just help others, you discover who you really are. Individual success without community connection is hollow, like being the richest person in a ghost town. But here's what might challenge everything you believe. Taking care of others isn't separate from taking care of yourself, it's the same thing. When you help someone overcome challenges, you develop problem-solving skills. When you comfort pain, you develop emotional intelligence. When you defend others, You develop courage. Every act of genuine care makes you stronger, more capable, more resilient. The beautiful irony is that the more you focus on others' well-being, the more your life improves. When you have purpose beyond your immediate needs, when you're connected to something larger, when your actions matter in others' lives, you become more motivated, creative, alive. You stop asking what's in it for me, and start asking how can I help? That shift brings more satisfaction and genuine happiness than all the self-focus in the world. The question is, are you ready to tear down those walls and join the human race again? So here we are, at the end of this uncomfortable journey. You've seen the evidence, you understand the problem, and now you face the most important question. What are you going to do about it? Every person who dies alone started out connected to someone. But somewhere along the way, they made small choices that gradually turned them into islands. You're making those same choices right now. Tomorrow morning, you'll face the same decision you make every day. Will you reach out to someone, or scroll through your phone? Will you have a real conversation, or send another emoji? Will you show up for someone's life, or stay safely hidden? Here's what I want you to do right now. Think of one person you haven't talked to in months. Someone who used to matter. Pick up your phone and send them something real. Not, "Hey, how are you?" but something specific. Tell them you saw something that reminded you of them. Ask about their life. Show them they exist in your world. Because here's the truth. If you disappeared tomorrow, your real legacy isn't your achievements or bank account, it's how many human lives you touched meaningfully. That number is what actually matters. You know what? If this video made you uncomfortable in a good way, if it showed you something you needed to see about your own isolation, hit that like button. Subscribe and ring the bell, because honestly, this message is too important to get buried under dance videos and cat memes. When you engage with content like this, you're voting for more real conversations about what actually matters. You're helping this reach someone who desperately needs to hear it. The bell that tolls for others is the same bell that tolls for you. Will you hear it in time, or keep pretending you're an island until it's too late? Your connection to humanity starts with a choice. Make it now.